Hello, good afternoon. I wanted to send you this video in advance of our open house on Thursday, October 8th, starting at 7. My stuff is starting at 7 p.m. I believe there is an administrative overview at 6. But I just want to give you a brief heads up about what I'll be talking about on the Zoom in case you're unable to make it to my class. I know you can only pick 4 teachers. And this way you can have an understanding of English 10 and the ability to ask any questions you might have, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. So this year in your child's English 10 experience, they will be covering the themes of coming of age, choices, stereotypes, identities, things that teenagers are going through now in our classroom as well as around the world. We'll be looking at different texts, short stories, poems, videos, plays, etc. that cover as much of a span historically and globally as I can. We'll be using the essential skills of speaking, listening, word study, and reading diverse texts and writing, of course. The text that we're going to have in common with the other 10th graders in my particular class will be Catcher in the Rye. Otherwise, we do tend to have a very different selection of literature that we cover in my class as opposed to the other 10th grade English classes, but the core text for all 10th graders is Catcher in the Rye, and we'll start that probably in November, so a little bit before the start of second quarter. In terms of grade weights, I know this is on the syllabus and I messaged this earlier in the year, but just a quick reminder, 10% of your students' average is vocab and word studies. This is preparing students for PSATs. We are in the middle of our first vocab unit right now, and they'll have their quiz on that next week. Homework and classwork is 15% of the average, and this is graded for effort and completion. If I can see that your student tried their best and submitted their work on time, they get full credit. As I tell the kids, especially right now in our poetry unit, poetry is a written art form, and I am not an art critic. Therefore, I am not going to judge them on the quality of what they are producing, but on the effort that they put into it. So that really is reflective in the homework and classwork grade. Quizzes are going to be on reading comprehension, on-demand responses, etc. For example, Thursday and Friday, the students will be writing an on-demand response to the themes of romanticism and realism that we've been looking at this past week, and that will be counting as a quiz grade, as well as a couple more complex or assignments that require more creative thought that we do in class. Then the other 50% of your students' average is major assessments. This includes tests, projects, and portfolio assignments. In semester 1, we're looking specifically at what it is to come of age, introducing this concept and this character journey, and looking at it through poems and short stories and the text Catcher in the Rye. We'll be looking at elements of literature, compare and contrast writing, using textual evidence, finding the answers to these questions through our study of diverse literature. In semester 2, this is when our class tends to divide most greatly from the other 10th grade experiences. We'll be using a wide variety of texts to explore narrative writing as well as argument writing, and really learning how to best share opinions and thoughts in respectful and diverse ways and contents, whether that is through blog posting, formal writing, podcasting, images. It's a really, really fun semester, so I'm looking forward to diving into that. And obviously, I'll be messaging more about the text we'll be looking at a little bit later in the year. In terms of communication, I would really recommend that everybody is utilizing Canvas, maybe as a parent shadow, to contact us English 10 teachers and view the agendas and upcoming assignments. I know I have worked with all of your students on how they can go back and find past assignments and past work to make up anything in case they are absent. But again, I just want to remind you and your students, when they log on to Canvas, there's always a list of to-do assignments, overdue assignments that they can be working on the right-hand column of their Canvas page. It's always there the minute they log on to Canvas, and that's one way to keep on track. The other way is to always be utilizing PowerSchool as well, to keep up with work, to send us emails. On behalf of the English 10 team, these are all of our teachers who are doing English 10 this year. But specifically, I want to draw your attention to my email address. Email is probably the best way to communicate with me. Your students also have access to the app Remind, which is essentially like a chat and messaging service, which is what I used on Monday to remind them to bring extra layers as it gets a little bit chillier this winter. If you have any questions for me about the content that we are covering this year, about your student's grade, I know that Thursday is also the late work deadline, which means that grades for the progress reports for first quarter are closing up next week. Please feel free to Submit any questions you have either by email or on this link, bit.ly/hall_ELA10. And that'll provide me with your best method of contact, and you can ask any questions about the class or your student there. I will be getting married on Saturday, so I will not be able to respond to any emails or messages until I return from the very short honeymoon we're taking on Thursday. So I appreciate your patience and flexibility, and I will get back to you again the minute I am back in Rhode Island. Thank you so much. If I see you on Thursday, fantastic. But otherwise, please feel free to meet other teachers during that time and send me any questions you might have via email. Thanks so much.